Hello and welcome to the Daily Draft, where we take magic one draft at a time. My name is Morgan, and this is another Battle for Zendikar draft. We are still getting super pumped for Oath of the Gatewatch, so yeah, we're going to keep drafting Battle for Zendikar. Welcome back. We're starting the draft with a pretty reasonable couple of options. There is a Rolling Thunder, which is just a fantastic red card, Eldrazi Sky Spawner, which leads into blue really well. Evolving Wilds is great. I think here we're looking at something like power level versus consistency. I really like Eldrazi Sky Spawner. Is it better than a Rolling Thunder? Probably not. We're going to go ahead and take Rolling Thunder first because of the high power level over Eldrazi Sky Spawner, but the fact that we're passing it is a bit of a bummer. So, second pick option, Duststalker, 5/3 haste at the beginning of each end step. If you control no other colorless creatures, return Duststalker to its owner's hand. Pretty cool. There's also a Transgress the Mind. Outnumber is the only other red card. There's also an Evolving Wilds. But I think Duststalker is powerful enough that I'm going to take it and see if I can't be red-black. I do like Cosmic Sentinel a lot in the red Devoid decks. There's also a Kozilek's Channeler, which we can consider it makes Rolling Thunder better, and it's just, you know, a big guy. Between Kozilek's Channeler and Kozilek's Sentinel, I'm not quite sure. Because Kozilek's Sentinel is a 2-drop which can attack pretty reasonably, but I don't think it attacks enough to make it worth taking over the Kozilek's Channeler. Perfect. We're doing it, kids. Forerunner of Slaughter is a 3/2 for 2, which is pretty great. It's the card that we were looking to pick up. This is definitely a better 2-drop in the aggressive black-red Devoid decks than Kozilek Sentinel. Definitely taking Sledgecaller here over the second Kozilek Sentinel because having a 1-drop is pretty powerful. It makes it easier to like play Forerunner of Slaughter on turn 3 rather than turn 2 because we can pump the Sledgecaller and then give the Forerunner of Slaughter haste maybe. Something like that. This deck is exciting. I'm excited. I think with the aggressive decks, you want to take more creatures, so Outnumber is a fine removal spell, especially if we're looking to go Sledgecaller into Forerunner into Duststalker. But I think having a consistent turn 1 Sledgecaller will be pretty important. Ooh, alright, well, there's a Nettle Drone in this pack and another Forerunner of Slaughter. And I think we're going to take the Nettle Drone. We want to fill out our curve a little bit more, and Forerunner of Slaughter is great, but Nettle Drone gives us reach, and I think that's pretty important for the deck. There's also the off chance that everybody around us decides to take, like, worse cards. Here I'm going to pick up an Outnumber. That's fine. This is about the time that I want to be picking up Outnumbers, which is probably prioritizing it too low for what it does, but that's how it works sometimes. I guess I take, what? Hedron Blade? I don't know. We'll take Hedron Blade, and we'll pick up another Outnumber. That's great. I think this deck can really take advantage of Outnumber, and Sure Strike, for that matter. Fine taking a Looming Spires. We haven't wheeled either of the Kozilek Sentinels, which is kind of unfortunate. Take Crumble to Dust in case anybody was drafting Tron. Another Looming Spires is fine, and didn't wheel the second Forerunner. Oh boy, this pack is kind of absolute garbage. I guess I take the Blighted Gorge. It feels really bad to first pick Blighted Gorge, but I don't really want a third Outnumber. And like Geyserfield Stalker, I don't think is good enough. So yeah, we're gonna first pick a Blighted Gorge, kids. We actually get an exciting decision here. There's a Breaker of Armies and a Rune Processor, which I think are both doable, especially with something like Forerunner of Slaughter giving them haste. Now the question is whether we think we're gonna have anything exiled ever. And I think the answer is probably. We've got 2 Sledgecrawlers. So I think on balance, the rune processor is going to be better, but could be completely wrong. There's also a swarm surge I could see taking. So we've got McKinley Slide Runner, which is usually a 3-2 attacking, or Culling Drone, and I think we take McKinley Slide Runner, especially since we have things like Sure Strike and Outnumber. Could this be a Slab Hammer deck? Yes. Yes, it could. Slab Hammer with McKinley Slide Runner is great. Slab Hammer also untaps Nettle Drone, which is pretty sweet. There are just like so many outnumbers in this pool, you guys. I think I take it. I really want creatures. I might end up taking a Geyser Field Stalker, but not unless it wheels. Ooh, okay. Silent Skimmer, not unreasonable for this deck. There's also Fire Mantle Mage, Boiling Earth, and Evolving Wilds that we could consider taking. I think it's just Fire Mantle Mage. I like Fire Mantle Mage a little bit better than I like Silent Skimmer well, I like it better than I like Silent Skimmer in general. And the Menace is really good for the aggro decks. And I'm probably going to end up filling out my curve with allies anyways, so Fire Mantle Mage is fine. We're going to take Valakut Predator here. It usually can attack for 4, which is pretty great. We're moving a little bit away from the colorless, but I think that Molten Nursery is still pretty reasonable. Shadow Skull Recruit, also fine, especially with Fire Mantle Mage, but we're going to take the Molten Nursery and see if we can't get it to work. So put this outnumber at our sideboard because we have so many of them right now, you guys. Just like a lot of outnumbers. Like, outnumbers are literally outnumbering creatures right now. We're gonna put this Grove Tender Druids over there. Take this Reckless Cohort because we might end up having to play it. Put Dutiful Return in the sideboard. Natural Connection. Take the real card, I guess. Oh my goodness. I think that pack, I don't think it was like the deck being bad. It's just that that pack was really dry for us. Sure. Yay, Full Art Lands! Oh boy. This is still kind of terrible. I think we take Ondu Champion. That's a reasonable rate for our aggro deck, right? You guys help. Ooh, okay. Second Nettle Drone. Perfect. Gonna be taking it over a Deathless Behemoth because Deathless Behemoth is just a big guy, whereas Nettle Drone, again, gives us a little bit more reach. Retreat to Valakut is a card that I wouldn't actually mind wheeling, nor is Mindraker. Here, it's between like Stonewaker and Swarm Surge, I guess. How many creatures do I have? 13? Alright, I'll be taking this Stonewaker now. I think I take a second Ondu Champion before I take the first Shatter Skull Recruit. Yeah, again with like Fire Mantle Mage, that seems pretty good. Okay, I'll take a Stone Fury. That's fine. There's also Goblin Warpaint, but I don't actually like Goblin Warpaint that much in the deck. Thank goodness! Alright, the power level of our deck just doubled. Hate Draft Rising Miasma? I'm not splashing Mundo. Alright. Now, this is the point where I'd like to take a Goblin Warpaint. When I have no other options. Wow, black really dried up. Like, look at this. We're basically mono red with Rune Processor. I'll certainly take another 2-drop. That gives us another Fire Mantle Mage trigger. And this Retreat to Valakut, we'll see if we can make that one work. Retreat to Valakut, for those of you who are unaware what it does. I'll take another Sure Strike, actually. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, choose one. Target creature gets +2/+0 until end of turn, or target creature can't block until end of turn, which is pretty sweet. I don't think we don't have enough support for Molten Nursery. I certainly don't want to play multiple Reckless Cohorts. We wield the Shatter Skull Recruit and a Blighted Fen. Oopsies. But I think we just want Shatter Skull Recruit. This deck is really weird, you guys. So I'll put that in the sideboard. I still think Sludge Crawler is probably the best card in this deck. So... perfect. Take another Sure Strike. Sure. Woo! Full art land. Alright. So we've got creatures and we've got spells. We can cut something. I think we want to play... we want to play 18 lands still because we have Rune Processor, Rolling Thunder, and a bunch of landfall guys. By a bunch, I mean 3. So I guess I cut something. I think if we played mono red, our power level would go down so much. Reckless Cohort, I guess. We don't really need a Reckless Cohort. We've got 3 other 2-drops, plus a Slab Hammer, and then we've got a bunch of 3-drops. Yeah, let's cut the let's cut that guy. We're gonna certainly be playing like half and half. And be sad if we never draw mountains, but we need more red than black, but we do want to cast our Sludge Crawlers and stuff. So, alright. This deck is so weird.